So some of you guys might have heard, some of you guys might not have, but Ben Askren, the former UFC fighter who had a record of 19-2, one of his most famous fights was when he actually got knocked out within like 5 seconds. But great fighter overall. And he recently got a very, very bad case of pneumonia, bad enough to the point where he actually needed a double lung transplant, and his insurance actually winds up denying him that life-saving care. And so what happened was there was a grassroots campaign to fund his life-saving care and then keep him alive, because otherwise he was going to die. And so some charitable organizations, GoFundMe's, the whole 9 yards, everybody raised money, and then he was able to get that life-saving care. And it turns out he actually just undergone the surgery here today, and so it looks like he lives to see another day. But it opens up a wider discussion here on universal healthcare in this country, a discussion which I've been having myself for almost 10 years now with other people, and nobody seems to understand just how broken the United States healthcare system actually is, to the point where even if they understand that insurance is a rigged game and that these are just money-sucking, just life-sucking, horrible companies, sadomasochistic, capriciously malevolent organizations, right? They don't really understand the depth of that, right? And like just how unaffordable it actually is from an economic standpoint, in addition to just being completely bankrupt morally to have a system like we have in this country, in which, by the way, we're the only modern country, Western country, that has this very capitalistic healthcare system for whatever reason. And so, and we all live shorter lives, by the way, too. With that said, though, a great study, and I always like to mention this to people who are, very interested in the healthcare debate, was actually by the Koch brothers. If you don't know who the Koch brothers are, they were among the biggest Republican donors in the world at the time of this study back in 2018 on single-payer healthcare. And these are Republicans, die hard, right? Donating millions of dollars, right, to the Republican Party, right? That's how much they believe in the cause, and that's how much they hate the idea of universal healthcare, right? Well, they come out with a study, right? And the study basically says, all right, if you want to get the same healthcare outcomes, right, a single-payer healthcare system will cost you $32.6 trillion. $32.6 trillion. Right? And you think, Jesus Christ, $32.6 trillion. How on earth are we going to afford that? Well, it was over a 10-year period, right? So it's not just all at one time, right? So you're like, oh, okay, a little bit more affordable there, but that's still crazy, right? Like $3 trillion a year, that's nuts, right? And you say, oh, sounds a little crazy, $32.6 trillion. But what you'll find out if you actually read the study is that doing what we do now under this very, very capitalist system, it's going to cost $34.6 trillion. So $2 trillion more over a 10-year period. And that's when the most Republican people on the face of the earth say this. Everybody else says, say you're probably $5 to $10 trillion over that same time period, right? And you'll actually get care based on your need as opposed to how much you can pay. An important thing to note too is that like nobody who wants a universal system would just ban private healthcare. Like, you can still have private healthcare if you want to, right? But what we're saying is that if you have a health issue, you're going to be taken care of. There needs to be that safety net in the country. You shouldn't just die because you're poor. And tens of thousands of people a year die in the United States, right? And millions more suffer because they can't afford healthcare. Think about how absolutely insane and depraved that is to be one of the richest countries on the face of the earth and have that problem. It's nuts. It's barbaric. It's insane. And these money hungry organizations, right? They just destroy people. They destroy lives, right? And we try to speak up against it here. Sometimes people look at you like you're insane, and they really shouldn't, right? I mean, like, if you're a Republican and you don't support universal healthcare, it's like you're an idiot, because just look at your biggest donors. Literally did a study showing that it would save money. So, let that sink in there, right? It's absolutely nuts. And so, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, there's a little food for thought for you guys here today. Obviously, send out your thoughts and prayers to Ben Askren and their family. Hopefully they do well. Obviously, on any issue, always make up your own mind. Always try to do your own research, come to your own conclusions, right? Don't listen to what anybody has to tell you, right? Listen to what they have to say, but don't automatically believe it. Always do your own research. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.